everyone. My name is Stefan D. Bolding, and welcome to episode 21 of the Flow University YouTube channel. In today's episode, we will be talking about social fitness in relation to the theme of the last couple of episodes in speaking to the individual's suitability in engaging within a specific environment. In this week's episode, I'll be giving away 5 keys to help you, the viewer, in being able to maneuver and to function properly within the social outer world, as many in today's modern society have become socially unfit to maximize their chances of survival. Essentially, use this week's episode to help you in moving forward within the outer sphere, as a lot of individuals within modern society has become restricted and regressed within themselves, not being able to relate and connect with others. The ultimate purpose of us as human beings, to connect, give, and receive. I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode of the Flow University YouTube channel. Let's get started. Let's let go of the life plan so as to accept the one that is waiting for us. Joseph Campbell. This goes into key number 1 as we start episode 21 of the Flow University YouTube channel, individuation. A lot of individuals within modern society are easily conformed to the influences, suggestions, and mechanisms that have been placed in front of them. Essentially, when one does not operate with a strong will, then they are forced to conform, and their mind is shifted and easily given into the displays of the external world. And so when an individual isn't able to individuate, then they do not have a true acceptance or understanding of self. They have no identity than what has been given to them from the external world, from others, or from the past actions that they have engaged in. And so there is a lack within themselves because there hasn't been the deep dive within oneself in order to find the true essence of oneself, the values that one holds dear and near, one's resolve, one's conviction, one's purpose, one's meaning. And things in the outer sphere, the external world, can aid one in contextualizing what goes on internally. But if one does not understand the internal, then when it comes to the external will become the driving influence and the driving force within one's life. This is why modern society has such a pull on younger individuals, because younger individuals do not understand, nor have they gone through the individuation process. A lot of times in ancient cultures, we would have rites of passages where young males and or young females would go through rituals where they would essentially find a place. They would have a situation where they could come unto themselves and they would say, oh, now I have acceptance, not just from the tribe, but they would have gained competency from the work they'd have put in previously. But in modern society, this doesn't actually exist unless one does this consciously themselves. And so one never has the opportunity to properly individuate because they never are placed in areas of extreme stress where they are tested to show what their competency is. And so when they are moving throughout the external world, they don't understand what utility and what unique value they bring to society. But when one begins to individuate, then they're able to understand the true unique essence that is within themselves, that they are able to exude outward into the external world, that is then accepted by society as a unique value. So for you, the individual, when it comes to you trying to individuate, when you are encountered or when you encounter external influences, don't immediately accept them as they are. Question. Have inquiry. Have prior knowledge. Go and attempt to gain more experience. This will aid you in discernment and interpretation of whether or not the external influences and suggestions are something that you should be adhering to or not adhering to. This is what will give one character. This is how one becomes more and more of an individual. it is easy, and you see this a lot of times in groupthink and in herd mentality. A lot of individuals, they do not have that inner resolve, those inner values that they hold near and dear. So when you do not have this, it is easier for you to fall to the submission of the outer hierarchy of values within modern society. And you see this all the time with individuals. You see this on social media. You see this on TV. You could see this as you walk down the street. What do people prescribe to? What is the average everyday person's thinking pattern? And so when you do not become an individual, then whatever is going on, then that is what you will adhere to. And so this goes back to the past of us as humans. Think of Nazi Germany, right? These individuals, a lot of them weren't individuals. They conformed either by conscious decision or by force or fear. Fear can aid in one conforming, but they all adhered to a thinking pattern. They all were manipulated and easily controlled because their hierarchical value system was predicated off the external and not the internal. And so if you want to become an individual, then you have to structure your internal order of values, and it has to be consciously done by you. So what do you value and what do you hold dear and near? Ask yourself these questions. Do you value money? Do you value peace? Do you value love? Do you value joy? Do you value competition? Do you value collaboration? What do you value? And so when you have this internal structure of values, and I'm not here to give you guys a preaching lesson, I'm just here to tell you how you become an individual. Once you have this internal locus of control, when you then turn external and you're confronted by the external stimuli, then you are able to either accept or reject or maneuver and shift whatever is being presented to you. And if you do not have the ability, the fitness to do this, then you immediately become submitted to whatever is external. So by increasing your social fitness, it aids you in being an individual. It aids you in being a character. It aids you in having presence and a intentional focus within the world. Instead of you being, this is a difference, and this is the difference between being a NPC and being a primary player. This is how a person becomes a player. They have things they value, things they desire, and then they go against a lot of the immediate external influences that they are presented to. So for example, when you go out in the external world and you're driving down the street, you see a lot of fast food chains. But let's say your internal value is, I don't eat fast food, I eat healthy food. So now when you are driving down the street, you might have the desire to eat some of the fast food, but because your inner value is different from what is being displayed externally, you're able to reject what the external is giving you and then find a new pathway in order to get what you actually want based on your internal driving factor. So use this, and I wouldn't take this lightly. I've done a lot of journaling. I've done a lot of writing. I've done a lot of questioning, and this takes time to develop. You have to have beliefs. This is how you create a value system. This is how you create belief structures. This is how you create principles. So these are very important, especially in the foundational aspects of your life, because without this, then when you go into the social environment of human everyday society, then without this, you immediately become subject to whatever is immediately being valued by society. And so it's very important, and religions operate off of this. So if you're living within an external world that values religion, see what they value, see what they believe, see what their principles are. If you are living within a more secular society, see what they value, see what they believe, see what their principles are. And so this will help you in navigating internally and navigating externally, because now you are able to build choice. So when you first come into the world, you're not immediately given choice, but over time, you're able to increase the amount of choice you actually have. But this takes time. This doesn't happen all at once. So the more you are able to increase the amount of choice you have, the more free will you will be able to express. So going into key number 2, calibration. So a lot of humans, even though they have individuated and they have a internal locus of control and they have increased their will and they're able to maneuver with a sense of sovereignty and a sense of self-power, they still are not in alignment with basic everyday human interactions. And so this is how people end up being autistic. So COVID-19 displayed this very likelihood of people being uncalibrated socially because we were locked away in our apartments, rooms, and far off places, wherever else we were. And then when we came back, there was almost a sense of not really understanding how to interact with other people. And so becoming more calibrated means, are you able to engage in just trivial everyday human interaction without seemingly being out of place? So this going outside, making sure you're well dressed, that you smell nice, that you're able to engage in small talk, that you're able to interact with other humans in a polite and a not professional, but a calm and easy manner. You can see humans that are uncalibrated socially because they have an awkwardness to them. They seem almost out of place when they're around other people. So if you want to increase your social fitness, when you're in front of a lot of individuals, how do you feel? And it goes back to key number 1. Are you an individual? Because if you're an individual, then you'll be grounded when you're around a bunch of people because you won't feel the need to immediately shy away or be extremely loud and boisterous. You will be solid and firm and centered in who and what you are. But this takes time. And so exposing yourself to environments, to experience, this will help you in that. Going into key number 3, integration. So once you have become an individual and once you have become calibrated, now you must integrate. And so this is going deeper into society. This is when you begin to network. This is when you begin to form friendship circles and when you begin to enter into communities. This might be when you decide to have a family. And so this is what creates the pillar and the foundation of countries. So if you are an individual, but you're uncalibrated and you're not integrated, then essentially you're really still socially unfit. And so if you are able to enter into, then you're able to really connect with others at a more higher level because now you're aiding in more grand visions and grand aspirations and the actual perpetual advancement of the species and not just your own desire. And so this is how you connect to the species and humanity as a whole instead of really just being self. Because the true purpose and true understanding of self is to know and love self so that self can extrude outward and connect to the other selves and then connect to the source of self. And this is how love operates. And so when you begin to integrate, you're then able to express this love to other selves that exist. But if you stay unintegrated, then essentially you remain cut off, even if you are calibrated. So you might be able to have everyday interactions, small talk, and you seemingly are firm and founded and grounded in, large social gatherings. But if you're not netted within a network or a group, then you still remain largely cut off. Number 4, support, aid. Human beings in the past, the main reason why we decided to come together and form small groups and communities was because we understood that with and through the power of collaboration that we could enhance our likelihood of survival, fitness, more than if we were simply on our own. And so if you are integrated, if you are calibrated and you are a unique individual, then it is easier for you to get support and aid when you need it. Because once you value self and self-love self, and this self-love and unique value streams outward, and you are able to connect with small groups and communities, then you provide a unique value that other people value. And so your survival is paramount and extremely necessary for the rest of the community to function. And so your sustainability becomes a priority for the rest of the group that you have integrated into. And so the individuals within this will support and aid you in any manner to make sure that you stay at the suitable level where your unique value can continue to be added to the group. And so you can't access support and aid if you're not integrated, calibrated, or individuated. And so it all streamlines together in helping you to become more and more socially fit. And so, and this isn't just a one-way streak. You don't just want to be a taker. You want to be a giver as well. And so you want to give support and aid, and well as accept support and aid. This is love. This is how we as humans are able to, this is how the trade and the bartering system began. This is how money works. This is how, this is really alchemy in its purest sense, as an equivalent exchange between each other off of value. But if you don't give value, if you don't enter into a place where you can be of value, and you don't know how to relate to others, and you're not an individual, then essentially you become useless. And when one is seen as useless, then they become more and more of the void. They become more and more of nothingness. And nothingness serves its purpose in a place and a time. Nothingness and being nothing can aid one in protecting them against subtle influences and suggestions, but it can also be a place where one can shift from one state to another. So when you become nothing, then sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. Nothingness. It goes straight through you. But when it's time for you to be something, that's when you're consciously able to shift and be. So there's certain individuals where all they want to be is nothing, and that's fine. You can operate like that, but there comes a time and place where you must also be. And to be, you must do. And when you become a being, you become more and more and more every single day. This is how you actualize yourself. You can't actualize yourself from being nothing. Actualization comes from something. So you must be and do something in order to actualize anything. And then if you don't actualize, then of what support and aid will you be to others? And how can people support and aid you? Because if you're not actualized, how can they then help you? Because there's no understanding of the supposed you that you are. So if there's no understanding of the you that you are, how can someone give to you? This is why you must become an individual, calibrate, integrate, so that you can receive. Going into the final key, value. Guys, value is something that is gained slowly over time. Every single person has a unique value. And what is this unique value? This is three things. Your unique value is your unique experience. No person in the history of the human species has ever had your unique experience, your unique perception, your unique interpretation of reality. And so your depiction of existence is of a unique value. Your story is unique. This is valuable. I don't care what the story is. It's extremely valuable. It can aid others. This is the basis of testimony. So understanding experience helps you in being able to give perception. This is how you give thoughts, ideas to others. And this can aid them, especially if you're an older human and you're helping younger humans. Your experience can be what sets up someone else's success. But if you do not value your experience, then you're leaving a lot on the table. Knowledge. This is why educational systems exist. Knowledge is a unique value, and the specific kind of knowledge you have is a specific value. For example, the knowledge I'm giving you guys here about social fitness. This is unique. This is something I have studied and read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books and dedicated the last 7 years of my life to this. So now I'm able to exude the knowledge that I've gathered within mind to you guys. That's unique. There's no one else that exists. Well, there's other people that exist, but there's no one that exists. This is how you become the only. Everyone wants to be the best, but the problem with becoming the best is that after there's a dip in skill levels, someone else will be the best. When you truly seek, and there was a podcast with a podcaster named Rich Roll, where he essentially had a guest on there who spoke about how you want to be the only. This is how you become the only. You connect unique experience, knowledge, and understanding combined together, and you become the only. This is how you offer the gift of a unique value to society, which society will deem as a equivalent exchange, and then place that value at its appropriate place within society. This is what a lot of individuals are seeing online. This is the purpose behind why so many people are imploring to people to post on social media, to implore on people to express themselves. Because in the past, you would have had to pick up a trade, like being a carpenter, being a steelman, being a soldier, being an architect, and that would be your profession, your trade. Your family might have created a business, and you work the family business. But in today's society, every person can now create their own unique game. But if you do not have social fitness, then your likelihood and chances of survival within this unique world rests closer to zero, and your suitability in order to engage within the modern everyday environment sits at zero as well. So for you, it's understanding your unique experience, your unique knowledge, and your unique understanding, combining it together in a package that society will then deem as an equivalent exchange, and then the value presented will be given back to you as fold. So it really sits at the placemaker's discretion, your discretion, in how you want to utilize your social fitness. Now, you can increase your social fitness by diving into self and beginning to understand and know more about self so that you become more of an individual. You can then work on becoming more socially calibrated by working on your communication skills, by working on some soft social skills, by working in gaining more experiences in large social gatherings and doing more networking. You can become more integrated by diving deeper into trying to start a family. I would say this, that families are extremely important to the individual because family gives the individual context. In modern society, you see a lot of humans running around with no context, or they have like half context, like a split context. Guys, history for the individual, history helps one become an individual because it gives you understanding of the past. And when you are able to have knowledge of the past, you're able to understand the present better and what's going on in the present. And it helps you in coming up with a game plan of what to do in the future. But if you do not have a true understanding of the past and you have no context, then in the present, you're just wandering aimlessly. And then the future is like whatever. So I would really suggest to every individual that you gather that context and you gather those past things so that when it comes time for you to formulate that unique value, it can be done so in a way that is easily digestible for all of the other selves within the collective. This is what I have done with some of my passions and my way of life, and what I'm doing now with this project of Flow University, where I'm helping humans to not just discover and develop self, but understand self more and more. Because things go infinitely. You'll always gain more understanding, and you can always gain more understanding because the self, it doesn't just stay balled up in one small place. The self is gaining more experiences every day. And so you can learn more and have deeper understanding of aspects of yourself from different angles and from placing yourself in different pressures, at different pressures. So this is how you increase the fitness of self. So what I really want you guys to do is I want you guys to, and what all of these videos are doing is it's building up to you creating not just a vision for life, but you begin to move through life with a conscious hand. And you're able to provide yourself with the blessing and the opening of the opportunity of grand creation. But you can never do this if you remain in ignorance. So I hope you guys have found this video of great value. Just a quick run through all of the keys. The first key is individualization. The second key is calibration. The third key is integration. The fourth key is support and aid. The fifth key is value. All of these worked on consciously over a set duration of time will increase one's social fitness and give them the ability to move within the social world at an extremely high level, guaranteeing, or at the very least, increasing their likelihood of suitable survival for the long term. I hope you all have found this of tremendous value. Enjoy the rest of your day and stay blessed.